So, welcome to the podcast. This is Garage. My name's Jeff. I'm your host. And yeah, we're going to dive into this question. Is there too much technology in cars today compared to stuff from, I don't know, I'd say 50s, 60s, even 70s, maybe early 80s. I know we kind of started getting some more computerized stuff in the early 80s, let alone, I mean, the vacuum lines. Don't be even starting at vacuum lines. But with that aside, modern technology, is there too much in cars today? I'm pretty much on that aspect of stuff. Like, for example, touchscreens, screens. There's so many screens in these cars. Like, and a lot of states, I know where I'm at, and here in South Carolina, they recently just put a law out that you're not allowed to use your phone and everything while you're driving. But I'm like, what's the difference? What is the difference between looking at these massive screens on your car, like, you know, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and all this stuff and all the apps and everything? Isn't it basically the same thing as you would be looking at your phone while you're driving? Or you're looking at a screen, you're taking your eyes off the road. I think it's too much tech. I really do. Granted, I don't think it's going anywhere because I think people are going to, we've been so adapted to it because we have basically have a screen in front of us all the time with your cell phone. You know what I mean? So you're used to it. You're used to having this stuff in front of you, and I think it's a distraction, like a really big distraction. You know what I mean? Um, and everything. But you didn't have that stuff in a classic car. You didn't have that stuff in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. You know, hell, even the 90s. But that's another thing. Like I think that after like 85, 86, dude, you started getting into the point of having too much technology as far as too many computers controlling stuff, too many sensors. It kind of got it just got crazy. It's just there's so much tech in these cars, and it makes it harder to work on. It makes it hard to diagnose stuff. You know, like I know you can pull an engine or an a code, great, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to pinpoint your problem. You know what I mean? Because if a sensor goes bad, cool, you got to replace the sensor, but that sensor may not be the reason for what's happening or the problem that's happening with your car. You know. Anyway, we'll probably we'll get into that later. But um, yeah, we'll dive into this right now. So with the fact of like these modern cars and everything, like quotation marks, take it to the dealer, get it repaired, don't do it yourself. You know, a lot of these manufacturers now like are requiring you to take it into them because of the fact that like it's gotten to the point to where you know Joe Mechanic or yourself or whatever, if you worked in cars, you can't do the repairs yourself because of the fact that you need a computer to reset things or do this or do that. Or a lot of these cars now, like, dude, they're requiring like a full engine out to do anything, which is insane. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, and this stuff has become so expensive because you don't have a choice. You have to take it to the dealership to get it worked on, and you get charged this astronomical amount of money. You know, it's crazy to me. Like stuff used to be so simple back in the day. We'll call it back in the day. Um, but I know another thing that's happening is I don't know too much about it because I'm really dove too much into it. But the fact of a lot of these manufacturers, I'm pretty sure BMW is doing it with the subscription based kind of thing to where you actually have to have a subscription to use certain features and everything, which I'm just like, that is, pardon my French, but fucking stupid. Like, I don't understand that. Like, they're going to charge me to use a feature in a car that I'm paying for or paid for. Like, what? Like, no, dude. Like, that is this just plain stupid. Like, I don't understand that at all. Like, it makes no sense to me, none whatsoever. That would make me not want to buy that car. Make me not want to even back that brand anymore. You know, like it blows my mind. Literally, like blows my mind. And because here's the thing too, like a lot of this stuff, man, like is all electric now. Like I'll just use the simplest form: the emergency brake. The emergency brake, it's a button, guys, or like a pull button, whatever you want to call it. You know, like, I don't know about you, but there's something about the tactile feel of pulling up an emergency brake or stepping on an emergency brake, you know, and knowing that your car is engaged or that the emergency brake is engaged. Like when you're sitting there and have to pull this button up, I'm just kind of like, did it work? Is it good? I don't know. Like, computer says it's on. I'm guessing it's on. You know, like it's just, I don't know. It's crazy to me. I just, I'm harping on this kind of stuff, but you kind of, I'm all about KISS, man. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You know, we've gone so far from simple, it's not even funny anymore. You know what I mean? All right. Also, the fact that a lot of cars now, again, harping on the fact that everything's going digital and is electronic and everything, but there's power assisted steering, the fact that electronic power steering, I feel like you lose the feeling of driving. You know, it becomes too video gamey, if that makes sense. You know, like there's something about feeling a steering wheel that's directly connected to your steering rack. You know, you feel every bump, you feel everything, you feel every um, variant, or you feel everything in the road. You know what I mean? And there's more of a rawness about it. You know, like you just kind of feel, it feels better. There's more of a driving experience. I know not everybody cares about that, but if you're a car person like me, you do care about something like that. You know what I mean? You want that raw experience. You want the driving. You want to be able to feel what's going on, you know? Like, a lot of these cars don't have that anymore. And it's just, it's sad. Like, especially throttle feel, dude. Like, I can't even, like, you know, drive-by-wire systems, like, there is a delay. I know you can, like, uh, tune it, get it out and everything. But like, there's something about a gas pedal, the throttle pedal being connected to a carburetor, being connected to your throttle body, being connected, like there's that raw feel, you know what I mean? Like it's instantaneous, you know what I mean? There's not that like few second delay, few seconds, whatever, you know what I mean? Like there's a little bit of a delay, but you notice it as a car guy, as a car person, you know what I mean? You understand the fact that like, yeah, I'm driving a new car, I'm gonna have a split second. Back in the day, it didn't have that. You know, like it was more raw and just better. You know, like yeah. Another thing I really want to talk about is the fact of like the engineering of these cars. I feel like they're a lot harder to work on um, than older cars. You know, there's so much more. Again, like a harp on the fact there's so much more, so many more sensors and um, so many more electronics and everything and stuff like that. Like, you know, you're talking 50s, 60s, 70s. Dude, you had freaking fuel, air, and spark. Like, yeah, you had maybe like some kind of modules controlling whatever. Actually, I take that back. No. Well, yeah, I mean, there was a lot less back then. We'll just leave it at that. You know what I mean? Like, it was easier to work on something. If your car didn't start, you know, it could have been like, well, am I getting spark? Am I getting fuel? Am I getting air? You know what I mean? Or you might have a vacuum line, which there wasn't that many of back in the day. You know, nowadays you're like, well, it could be this sensor, that sensor, this sensor, this sensor, this sensor. It could be a vacuum line. It could be this AC or this computer controlling this, and then maybe this went bad because it's controlling this. It turns into a nightmare, guys. Like it really does. It's just, I don't understand. I don't know. I feel like I'm ranting about this stuff, but it's just the fact of like, it's crazy to me now. It literally blows my mind that, you know, we have quotation marks simplified but overcomplicated the car, you know? In closing, I'm just going to talk about the fact that you know, like is older better? I'm going to leave it at that. Is older better? You know, like can you live with the effect of all the tech in these cars. I know it's cool, I know it's fun, but would you rather drive something more would you rather drive something that has more of an experience in driving than driving these modern cars? You know, like I know they're faster. Don't get me wrong. I think that part of technology is amazing. Like direct fuel injection, all that stuff, like the amount of horsepower and powering out of this stuff is crazy. You know, from that side of thing, I think it's insane. You know, like what we can do with suspension and stuff like that and everything, it's unbelievable. Like that side of it is great, you know? So I guess I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here. You know what I mean? I see both sides. I really do. But which is better? Would you rather have something older? Or would you rather have something newer? I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, I'm done with this episode, guys. I appreciate you all listening. Um, Again, I'm reaching out and I'm looking for people that want to actually be on my podcast and do an interview. Tell me your car story. Tell me about you. Tell me about, you know, the experience that you've had in the car scene. You know, we'll, we'll just dive into like the random stuff. I'd love to have anybody on. If you want to be on, leave a comment below. And yeah, hope to see some new faces or we'll hear some new voices on this podcast in the future. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Later.